put you in the worst mood.
You see what I did there? Math. Morning! Gotcha! Alright, so today we're going to graph using intercepts. Let's jump right into it. Alright, in this section we're going to, we're going to graph lines using intercepts. So the first thing you want to do, take down these definitions up here. The x-intercept, that is the point at which the line crosses the x-axis. So remember, this horizontal line right here, we call this the x-axis. So if you need to pause the video, copy this down. The x-intercept, point at which the line crosses the x-axis. Once you copy that down, we need to do the y-intercept. This is the point at which the line crosses the y-axis. So this is an important definition. Pause the video, copy that down. And again, the y-axis, that's the vertical axis. So this line right here, that is the y-axis. Alright, so this example right here, where does the line cross the x-axis? So this is the x-axis, and this line, it crosses right here at this point. How do we label this point? So it says x-intercept. Well, if you remember, when you label points, you have the x value comes first, and then the y. So in this situation, the x value is 2. We started at the origin and went 2 to the right. And the y value is 0, because I do not go up and I do not go down. So the x-intercept is 2, 0. What about the y-intercept? So this line goes all the way down, and then right here is crossing the y-axis. So the y-axis, or the y-intercept, is right here. In the coordinates, let's see, the x value, I don't go left or right, I just stay right here. So the x will be 0. And the y, how many do I go down? 1, 2, 3. So if I go down 3, that's -3. So the x-intercept, 0, 2, y-intercept, 0, -3. What about this one over here? So the x-intercept, excuse me again, it's right here. This is between -1 and -2. So I need to estimate. Right? If it's between -1 and -2, I can say the x value is -1.5. So this one, I'll write -1.5. What about the y value? So I went to the left. Now do I go up or down? No, I'm already on that line. So the y value is 0. 1.50. Now the y-intercept, that is right here. It's crossing the y-axis at this point. So do I go left or right? I do neither. I just stay right here, and then I go down 1, 2, 3. So this y-intercept is going to be 0, -3. If you look at both of these x-intercepts, you notice the y value is both 0. And if you look at the y-intercepts, the x value, both of those are 0 too. So another definition besides the point at where the line crosses, the x-intercept, you can say, is when y is 0. And the y-intercept is when x is 0. So there's two ways of looking at intercepts. Alright, this one over here is a little different. So the x-intercept, where does this line cross the x-axis? Well, it doesn't. It never crosses it. It's going straight across. The x-axis is down here. So in this situation, I have x-intercept. There is none. No x-intercept. Is there a y-intercept? Sure. Right up here. Bam. So again, x is 0, because that's the definition of a y-intercept. And then y, what does that equal? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 4. Wonderful. So now we need to find out, are these lines Are they positive? Are they negative? Or are they neither? We call that the slope. I'm going to show you a little video before we do this. What was that video? So that's from this old show called The Price is Right. It's still on right now. And that's the game where people guess how much something costs and how far away they are from the price. The guy goes up this mountain and he might fall off the end. That's how I like to think about positive and negative slopes. I've got this little mountain climber guy over here. I'm going to bring him to this thing. If you pretend he's coming from the left to the right and he's climbing up this slope, and I'll sing the song for you. La 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 la. So he's going up. If he's going uphill, we call that a positive slope. Let me write that for you. Positive. So this first one was positive. If this mountain climber, if he's going downhill, so you start from left to right, and let's say he's going downhill. La do do la la do la do 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 la do 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 la 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 la. So if he's going downhill, we call that negative. That is a negative slope. Let me write that one in for you too. Negative. Perfect. But what about this last one? He's not going uphill or downhill. He starts right here. La do do la la do do la la do do la 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 do do. He didn't go up or down. He just went straight left and right. So if that is the situation, we call that a zero slope. So that is a zero. Z-E-R-O. A zero slope. Cool. Moving on. So now we're going to graph some lines using intercepts. So when you graph a line, you really only need 2 points, and then you can connect it with a straight line. So this says the x-intercept is -5. You don't have this written on your packet, so you got to fill it in. So the x-intercept is -5. So here's the x-axis. There's -5. I'll put a dot right there. That's the x-intercept. The y-intercept is 5. So let me go up. This is the y-axis. There's 5, so I'll put a big dot right there. So x-intercept, y-intercept. Now let me graph that with a line. Okay, let me get a pen. My selecty thing. Okay, let's see. Can I do this? Take a line, bring it over. Take a line, bring it over. Let me move it around. Whoop. Move that. Alright, are my points connected? Yeah, there we go. So, if you had a ruler, you could just connect these lines. Is this slope positive, negative, or zero? Well, if it was a mountain climber, he'd be climbing up. So this is a positive slope. Alright, this next one. The x-intercept is 2. So I'll put the 2, there's the x-axis, 2, bam, right there. The y-intercept is -3. This is the y-axis. The y-intercept is -3. Bam, I put that right there. Now let me graph a line. Bam, magic. It's on there. Alright, and this also has a positive slope. The mountain climber would be climbing up this mountain, going up. Alright, this next one, the x-intercept is 4. So I'll put that right there. The y-intercept, there is none. So it never crosses the y-axis. The only way that this line could exist if it went straight up and down. So let me go over here. Move this around like that. Alright, straight up and down like that. This slope, we call this undefined. You're going to learn about that in future lessons. But for right now, I'm just going to say it's undefined. If it goes straight up and down, it's undefined. We look at it, the x-intercept is 4. The y-intercept, this never crosses the y-axis, so there is no y-intercept. So now we're going to learn about something called standard form. You may have seen this before, or it might be brand new. This is just a way to write equations. So the standard form is ax plus by equals c. X and y are the variables. A, b, and c are numbers. A and b are coefficients, and c is just a constant after the equal sign. So let me give you an example of this. Alright, this example over here, 2x plus 3y equals 6. So 2, that is the a, b, that is this 3, and c is the 6. And then the x and y, those are the variables. You don't really have to write those down. You can if you want to. I'm going to erase them. Alright, so how does this work? If we want to find an intercept, I know if I'm trying to find the x-intercept, so this is the x-axis, when the line crosses this, y equals 0. So the x-intercept is when y equals 0. So it'll be x, and then whatever y is going to be a 0. So how can I find the x-intercept using this equation? Well, I just kind of plug it in. So I'm trying to find x, so I'm going to put 0 in for y. So I'm going to come down here. We have 2x plus 3y equals 6. I said plug in 0 for y. So 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 6. When I simplify 3 times 0, that's 0. So I can just write 2x equals 6. And now when I solve for x, I divide by 2 because this is 2 times x. So divide by 2, x equals 3. So this is the y-intercept is when x, this is the x-intercept, x equals 3. Cool. So I can even put that right there. Is there a shorter way to do this? Yes, there is. So I like showing my work doing that, but I put this blue dot up here for some reason. So this is called the cover-up method. So I know that y is going to be 0, and 3 times 0 is 0. If I take this dot right here and just cover that up, now I have 2x equals 6. This part equals 0, so I can just use this equation, 2x equals 6. So let me write that part down. I could have done this whole thing, or I could just do 2x equals 6. Right, I covered up the y because the y equals 0. 2x equals 6, divide by 2, cancels. Over here is going to be x equals 3, right? The same thing. So that's called the cover-up method. If I want to find the y-intercept now, so let me change my pen color one more time. So the y-intercept, that is when what happened? That's when x is 0. So this is the x-axis when x is 0 and it crosses the y-intercept. So I can do the same thing. I'll put in 0 for x. 2 times 0 is 0. So I can actually just cover up this 2x because it equals 0. So my equation would be 3y equals 6. 3y equals 6. So let me write that over here. 3y equals 6. When I solve for y, I just divide by 3. That cancels. Y equals 6. Alright, when I put that up here, there should be a y. Y equals 6. Bam. Oh, y equals 6? What am I talking about? 6 divided by 3, that's 2. Y equals 2. My bad. I'm sorry. So I'll put that right there. So I have my x-intercept, y-intercept, and now I can just connect these two with a straight line. Let's see how I do. That's not bad. That's a pretty good line. So when you use the standard form and you're trying to find intercepts, if you want to find the y-intercept, you put 0 in for x and you solve. If you want to find the x-intercept, you put 0 in for y and then you solve. That is how you find the intercepts. Let's try this one over here. So let me move this for you. So this equation says 4x minus 3y equals 12. If we want to find the x-intercept first, that means y equals 0. So this minus 3y, I know that's going to be 0, so I can just cover it up with this circle. So my equation says 4x equals negative 12. I'll write that over here. 4x equals negative 12. When I solve, I divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals negative 3. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So bam, I put my x-intercept right over there. If I want to find the y-intercept, that means that x equals 0. So this part over here will be 0. I have negative 3y equals negative 12. Now I need to solve that equation. Negative 3y equals negative 12. And it's important to have this negative sign. Over here everything was fine because it was a plus sign, but you have to be careful when you have a negative sign. So if it's positive, you keep it positive. If it's negative, you need to make it negative. So when I divide over here, I'm going to divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3, those cancel, and I have y equals negative 12 divided by 3. That's going to be a positive 4. So my y-intercept is positive 4. I connect those two dots. You use a ruler, make that look nice. But there you go. We graphed two lines using intercepts, and it's easy to find the intercepts when you have the equations in standard form. Alright, awesome. Let's keep going. What I want you to do now is pause this video, try these two problems. So we've been doing these. You need to find the intercepts and then graph them. This one on the left, it even has a point for you to find, but I want you to pause this video right now and try these by yourselves, and then I'll put up the answers. Okay, go. Alright, here it is. So the first thing I did on this one on the left is I found the x-intercept. For y, that's going to equal 0, so my equation was 5x equals 15. I divided each side by 5 and I got x equals 3. I put that intercept right there. When I found the y-intercept, 5x, x was 0, so this was just nothing. So my equation was 4y equals 15. I divided by 4 and I got y equals 3.75. I estimated, I put it right there, and I put the line on. To find if point negative 5, 10 is the solution, I wrote the equation now. 5x plus 4y equals 15. And then I plugged in negative 5 for x and 10 for y. And I did 5 times negative 5 equals negative 25. 4 times 10 is 40. Negative 25 plus 40 is 15. 15 equals 15, so yes, it is a solution. The next one over here, 2x equals negative 12. Well, there is no y, so I just solved for x, and I got negative 6. So that means the x-intercept is negative 6. And there's no y, so that means there is no y-intercept. So it is a vertical line. If you remember, we call that undefined. That's it. Moving on to the next one. I was talking to Mr. Sherrod yesterday, and he was talking about how many Facebook friends he was losing. So I said, let's figure that out. Let's see how many you're really losing. So we made this graph over here. This is the first quadrant of a coordinate plane. If this is freaking you out, it doesn't look like it normally does. This really extends all the way to the left like that, and this really extends all the way down. All right, this is the x-axis. This is the y. The x is also time, so I stopped at 0 because it's not really negative time. And then friends, I stopped that at 0 too because you can't really have negative friends. So that's why this is just the first quadrant. So let's see, what is the y-intercept? Well, here's the y-axis, and it crosses that right here. It's a little blurry, but that's 95. 95. If you wrote that in the most mathematical way, the point is 0 and 95. And I prefer if we write it this way too. So the y-intercept is 0, 95. What does that y-intercept mean? Well, at day 0, it looks like Mr. Sherrod started with 95 friends. Right, so at the very beginning he had 95 friends. So let's say you start with 95 friends. Alright, so what is how about the x-intercept? Well, that's all the way over here. So that was 19. So I can write 19. I would really prefer if we wrote that 19, that's the x value, and y is 0. So that's the x-intercept. What does that mean? Well, so in 19 days, how many friends does Mr. Sherrod have? Well, he started with 95, and it went down, 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 down to 0. So this means in 19 days, Mr. Sherrod has 0 Facebook friends. So for some reason, they were unfriending him. I don't know why. Figure it out. So 19 days, he lost all of his friends. Describe this rate of change. Well, okay, so he started with 95 friends, and then after 19 days, he had 0 friends. So let's see here. What could I write? Well, how many friends did he lose in 19 days? 95. So we could say you lose 95 friends every 19 days. So 19 friends every 95 days. That seems like a kind of a weird rate. Could that be simplified? Well, if I look at the graph up here, let's see, one day. How many friends did he lose in one day? So he started at 95, and then on day 1 he had 90. So he lost 5 friends in one day. Does that continue? So on the second day he was at 85 friends. So again he lost 5 friends. So this, you could simplify this, and that's going to be you lose 5 friends, I'll say -5, every day. So -5 friends every day. Bam. So that is a real life example with Mr. Sherrod's Facebook friends. You could ask him about it. It's real. This really happened. But this is getting a little tricky. Keep working hard. Good luck on the mastery check. Good luck on the packet. You got this. I'm going to end you with a nice Facebook page right now. This page is called Kitty Kingdom for Cat Lovers. Check this out. Ooh, look at that guy. Look at that. That's a fun cat. She's making her own breakfast, isn't she? I don't believe this. I don't really know what that means. Cat joke. Oh, cat in the fridge. The more cats. Oh, that's a fun looking cat. That's a tiger. Wow. So check this out. Kitty Kingdom for cat lovers. Oh, cat with a baby. All right. Dirk is out.